All right, guys. Today we're going to be talking about how to feel so good about yourself where other people's opinions doesn't affect the way you feel. 3 steps to doing that, okay? So first we're going to talk about, number 1, why is that so important? Why is it so important to feel so good about yourself where other people's opinions doesn't affect the way you feel? Well, it's really simple, right? If we don't feel that good about ourselves, then other people's opinions are constantly affecting us. Then if somebody doesn't agree with us, then we don't feel good about ourselves. We're like, oh man, they don't agree with us, so they must see me as being stupid, or maybe they don't agree with what it is I'm saying. So now there's this conflict, right? And this conflict between us doesn't make me feel good. I want everybody to accept what it is I'm saying. I want people to agree with what it is I'm saying. So we're constantly being affected by other people's opinions. Sometimes it could be about something like that. Sometimes they could just think something of us. Man, I don't like the way you look. I don't like what you're interested in and all this stuff. And we go, oh my God, you know? And when this happens, we can't be authentic. We can't express the way we want to. We're now expressing based on making other people feel better. We're expressing based on trying to get acceptance and love from everybody. So that's why it's so important to make sure we feel so good about ourselves. So this way, we can be ourselves. We can't be ourselves if we don't feel good about ourselves. Because then we can't. We need to trust ourselves. If we feel good about ourselves, we get to trust ourselves. We get to feel confident about ourselves. We get to love ourselves. We get to treat ourselves better. Ding, 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 ding. So, 3 things, okay? 3 things to go ahead and get ourselves to feel better. All right, feel better about ourselves. So, here we go. Number 1, power. Power to choose. We need to know that we have the power to choose at every moment. Every moment of our life, every moment right now, we have the power to choose what we're thinking, to what we're feeling, to how we're acting. We have the power to choose. When we know that we have the power to choose, now we give ourselves permission to go and choose. This doesn't mean that we're able to suddenly start to change everything about ourselves, but now we give ourselves permission to try. If we don't give our permissions to try, we don't achieve anything. We don't get to do it. We have to give ourselves permission to try. And by knowing that we have the power to choose at every moment of our life, our thoughts, decisions, and actions, and feelings, and everything, we have that power. Now we give ourselves permission. Now we can go, all right, I might not like the way I'm acting right now, or the way I'm feeling, or what I just did, but I know that I can change it because I have the power to choose. So now we can work towards how to go ahead and correct that, okay? Number 2, let go of old emotions in the body. Old emotions. When we go ahead and experience things in the past, we feel these emotions. And a lot of times we hold on to these emotions accumulated inside of our bodies. Because when something happens to us, any event, we are thinking and we are also feeling simultaneously. It's not just in our thoughts, but we don't feel it, right? But we don't let go of these emotions that are inside of our bodies. That's why when we wake up every single morning, don't you feel the same way that you did the other morning when you woke up, and the other morning, and the other morning, and the other morning? We feel so similar every single day because we're used to feeling a certain way. But what happened if we have so much problems and so much frustrations going on in our life, and we're used to being frustrated? We're used to feeling stressed. We get so used to feeling stressed that feeling stress becomes this normal way of feeling. Like that's our normal way. Nothing is wrong. No, I feel stressed. Oh yeah, but that's cool because I always feel stressed. No big deal. That's what happens to us. We get feeling uncomfortable as the norm. But then we want to be happy. We want to create a life that is not stressed, that's not problematic, but we can't. We can't because we're so used to feeling these old emotions. We got to let go of these emotions in the body. And the way to let go of emotions in the body is to teach our bodies how to relax. When we relax, we let go. Literally, physically, we let go. It's like, how do you let go of this marker, Drop it, and it's gone. How do we go ahead and let go of something that we're holding here? Relax it. And then now it has the ability to flow out, to leave our body. So that's why relaxing and being calm is so important. Because throughout our days, we need to go ahead and do all this stuff. But it doesn't mean that we have to be tense all the time. Once in a while, it's needed, but not all the time. And we as people get so used to being tense all the time, to where being tense becomes the norm. So when we can let go, when we feel relaxed, now we can let go of those old emotions. Number 3. Probably the most important and the most powerful, and probably the most common thing that people do. Write it down here. Stop the negative stories in your head. Bing, 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 bing. How often do we find ourselves, or even hear other people, talking about things that happened in the past that doesn't make them happy? Things that happened in the past that creates problems for them, makes them upset, makes them sad, makes them frustrated, makes them stressed. Things that they don't agree with, and they complain about it. How often does that happen? Every time when that happens, they are re-experiencing those events from the past. And when those events are problematic, when those events are stressful, when those events piss us off, and we talk about it all the time, we are re-experiencing it. So what happens when we are re-experiencing stuff that upsets us, right? It's very obvious. We get upset. Think about it. If you are right now going to go ahead and tell me about something bad that happened in your life, tell me about something bad that happened to your life. You may be feeling good right now watching this video, but I promise you, you can start telling me something bad that happened to your life, and by the time you're done telling me that story, you feel bad. Or at least worse than the way you feel now. Not as good. And the reason why is because our bodies don't know the difference. And when we are thinking about scenarios, thinking about images, about things that happened before, we also feel the emotional connection to whatever the way we felt then. If we have this association with that event that it wasn't good, that it was stressful, and we talk about it, we will feel that stress, And there are ways to go ahead and let go of that association. So this way we can talk about old events that happened, but not feel stressed about it. And there are methods to doing that. But right now, the first thing we should do is to stop it. Really simple. There will be other times in your life to where we can disassociate it. Disassociate the negative emotion to this event. So now this event becomes okay to talk about. Here's an example. My father passed away. Real story, about 12 weeks ago, give or take. So then, in the beginning, when I think about it, it's like really sad. But when we disassociate the bad feeling, now it's an event that happened. You see, but we don't need to go ahead and do that. That's something that takes time to do. But what you should do right away is stop telling these negative stories. So this way we don't feel bad. Because there's no point. But then what do we tell stories about? I got an idea. How about things that we want to create? How about a future, our goals, a future that we want, a lifestyle that we want? Why don't we go and talk about our dreams? Talk about how the world will be. Talk about things that we're striving for. Talk about things that make us happy. Talk about things that we're grateful about. Talk about people that we appreciate. Talk about the awesome things that you see in your life. Why? Because all of those things make you feel good. They're awesome. They're great. You feel thankful. You feel grateful. You feel joy, right? Let's go ahead and focus on those things and stop focusing on the negative things, okay? Those 3 things. Number 1, know you have the power to choose at every moment. It does not matter about genetics. There's no just I'm the way that I am, and no, and no. We have the power to choose at every moment what we say, what we think, how we feel, our actions, every single thing. And when we know that this is true, we can go start the journey of being the person that we want to be, that we know that we can be, okay? Number 2, let go of those old emotions in the body. So this way our bodies don't feel all of that stuff, because then it reminds us of all those stories, reminds us of all that stuff. Let go of it in the body, okay? We can't move on and create a new future, a future that we want if we are holding on in our body. Let it go. We let it go by relaxing, by being calm, okay? We let it go by the type of training. There's a lot of different ways to do it. I created something called the flow training method, simply to go ahead and let it go. That's like the main thing. We want to look good, and we want to also feel good. And we feel good by letting go of the tension. So there's so many ways to let go, but you gotta let it go, okay? Don't carry old emotions into your future. Number 3, stop the negative stories in the head. When we stop the stories in the mind, we now don't feel those negativity anymore in the body. And now we can put our attention to things that we actually want. Put our attention to things that make us happy. I hope this video helps. Please leave comments in the bottom below. Let me know how this works for you. Let me know if you try it out, and let me know other ideas that you have on things that can help you feel good about yourself to the point where other people's opinions don't affect the way you feel. That's so important. That's on the path towards liberation, towards freedom. All right? Thanks, guys. See you later.